The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Here's an unpopular take. I don't know. I'm not actually sure where people's heads are at where this is concerned, but I want to go ahead and throw it as again. This is my opinion alone. You don't need to have it. It's okay if you don't have it. I will still happily buy you a beer if you think 180 degrees the opposite, and we will laugh and be friendly about it. I will anyway. I can't promise for you, but I will. I don't love James Gunn's superhero movies. I just don't. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy hit different, and I think in a world where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is starting to feel very cookie cutter, imagine those happy days. Guardians of the Galaxy had a different feel to it. It was unique, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because it was different. I enjoyed some of the different elements. I enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed the music, and I felt like it was a little bit of a different thing. I did feel like the overall ending was a kind of a deflated letdown. Ronan comes and then we grab on and we hold hands or family. I don't know. There was that felt like a cheaper end. I'm not sure. But regardless of all that, first movie was okay. Second movie I thought was awful. Like it relied on cheap gags, primarily like Mantis going, "Oh, this guy's horny." And then Drax laughing a lot. I thought the second movie was one of the worst in the Marvel kind of cinematic universe. And going back, James Gunn has done several films. I think I enjoyed some of them, but overall, he's not my favorite filmmaker. I will say, he's a competent filmmaker. It's not like he's somebody that just puts out kind of atrocious trash. If you look at what M. Night Shyamalan's, there's an example of one of the worst movies of all time right there. That film sucked hard. But overall, he's a competent filmmaker, but he's not one that like draws me to the box office. And I think his Marvel work has been pretty average. All right. So I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I'll do this with only not significant spoilers, but in my mind, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was on par with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I remember I thought I was thinking for a few times in the theater, is this movie so kind of dull and predictable? Because it felt almost in many ways like more of the Marvel formula. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 wasn't great, but it at least did feel like a slightly different formula. This one felt very, very much like the Marvel formula, including things like a pretty major villain, the High Evolutionary, and kind of a beginning and end to him. I don't know. Maybe he comes back again. I don't know. But there's just misuse of villains. A pretty predictable plot, things that go from A to B to C that you could see coming. I just overall wasn't. I thought it was equivalent to the, to the second one, which means I didn't like it. And unfortunately for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're here with Ant-Man 3. Which was a very Marvel paint-by-numbers type movie that at times made zero sense. This one had a lot of the same feel. And so I remember watching this going, did James Gunn just not give a shit at this point about this movie because he knows he's going over to DC and he doesn't want to give Marvel any, big presents or things before he goes out the door to work for the competition? And if you're sitting in a movie thinking thoughts like that, that's a sign generally the movie isn't great. It's important because a lot of people on YouTube just hate everything. Everything is negative, everything is bad. So it's worth mentioning, no, I don't hate everything. Like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I thought it was pretty solid. Probably one of the James Gunn's movies I like the best. The Guardians holiday special, that was for all intents and purposes, a little commercial. It's fine, but I would argue the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special had slightly more going on in it than Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, we got to introduce Adam Warlock. We got to go to Rocket's backstory. We got, like I said, we got the High Evolutionary. We have a few of those things. But, I'm looking at this, and it's like, if we're going to get another Avengers, Secret Wars kind of, everybody on the screen at the same time, big collection of people, are we really down to, like, they're all the different groups are coming together, and somebody's like, holy shit, here's the Eternals, and here's Adam Warlock, and here's Bill Murray's character from the Quantum Realm. Like, I don't know, this next big giant, all the characters on the screen at one time, is gonna feel lame. Like, I didn't mind the girl boss moment in Avengers Endgame, where all the female superheroes all assembled, and you got Pepper Potts there in her armor as rescue, and you're looking at that going, well, they're kind of, at this point we've got Pepper Potts in a suit flying around. This is not the A-Team, but still she's been with the movie all along. But at this point, if they assemble all the characters again in an Avengers movie, you're going to be looking at that going, Pepper Potts is one of the bigger actors in this thing. Like, you're like, when the Eternals all come together, you're like, what the fuck? No, I don't know. It's just, you got Shuri, Black Panther, you got Namor, maybe a Tuma shows up in there. This isn't a good thing. But anyway, James Gunn, I feel like I was supposed to like this movie more. I feel like it was supposed to hit different, feel different. But the biggest takeaway I had is how amazingly like all the other Marvel movies it was. And really, I'm gonna say the comments that superhero fatigue is real. I think I said this before. I don't agree. I think somehow Invincible and The Boys get a lot of attention. People go for those things. Now, granted, they're different, but that's kind of the point. I don't think that superhero fatigue is real. I think Marvel formula fatigue is real. That's a thing that's real. It is the same 3-act structure over and over and over again. At this point, the filmmakers are just kind of lazily going through there and saying, we don't even have to explain these plot beats because the system so well. We're just going to move it from here to here and fuck it. You deal with it. That's what it feels like. It's like you could, it's a paint by numbers. You could go in with a Marvel bingo card and fill the card. It's all right. We got to have, we have to have a woman who doesn't need a man to save her. We got to have that. And again, not that women need men to save her. Just every movie doesn't need to make that point. We got it. A lot of people got it. You don't need to, rather than making a new movie with it, or at least go every other one, right? We don't need a villain who actually has a tragic backstory and, seems friendly, but oh no, is actually kind of evil and conniving and, and tried to do this kind of thing. And, we don't need the hero at a very critical moment where everything is lost, quipping away. We don't need, we don't need the, it's enough. These moments are not needed. And James Gunn's big pitch was that, he was the different filmmaker. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy #1 was different. #2 was, again, somewhat different, but bad. And #3 was the same and bad. Again, in my opinion. And movies these are popcorn movies. So the other thing is, if you only kind of casually watch these things, they probably hit better because the formula hasn't worn on your soul like everything else. But the question I have is, now he's going to do DC. What are we getting in DC? Are we getting James Gunn different, which I think is very hit and miss? Or are we getting James Gunn tries to recreate the Marvel formula just with DC characters, which I think will be a fucking flop? So, what are we getting here? And again, am I the only one? I may be. Am I the only one that just again, not a big fan of James Gunn ever? So I put that out there. But I thought this movie was dull. And it really feels like that's where we're at with the the Marvel formula at this point. I don't know. I mean, hell, even the doesn't make a lot of sense Spider-Man film that Sony did, the last one with the multiversal shit. Even that one had this, a slightly different plot structure. At this point, any Marvel movie that's winning is one that's just not doing the same exact, beat by beat thing over and over again. That's how you have a killer $1 billion Kazar movie, Marvel. That's what you can do. Anyway, thanks for listening. This review kind of sounded like somebody else, but just not with a Scottish accent. I don't know a shite. No, that's terrible. Yeah, go away now.